you know, I come to the gym regularly, obviously, for fitness. I was walking in for my morning workout in the front door, just as whoever was telling Mary that Bill was having chest pain. So I just walk in the front door and I hear Mary, you know, call 911, call 911. And I'm like, okay, we have a problem. So I walked up to whoever it was, the guy that was at the front desk. Tyler. And I said, I'm an EMT. What's going on? I said, Bill's having chest pain. So I said, okay, great. Show me where Bill is. And we walked through the inner door here. At which point I noticed Bill was slouched in the chair. I walked back to Bill, did a sternal rub, you know, see if he was responsive. He was unresponsive at that point. We helped him down to the floor. Pulse check, no pulse. No, he was breathing when he was in the chair, but by the time we got him to the floor, he had stopped breathing. So start CPR. So I started CPR, and I think I had you come in right after that while I was calling for the AED. And brought the AED, apply the pads, analyze, shock, continue CPR, and pretty soon he started breathing on his own, put oxygen on him, and started becoming conscious and making noises and moving around. So that's, you probably remember me down in your face telling you that we were working on you.
Sure do.
I was in the main cardio room, and I heard a code echo called over our radio, and I sprinted down the hallway to the main hallway area in front of our water fountains, and I got there just as Bill's head was tipping back, and Fred was already there, so I helped Fred get Bill to the floor and then started doing compressions, and I just kind of went on autopilot and didn't really think about what I was doing at the time, just did what I needed to do.
Bill normally comes in about 7:30ish. He likes to come and have a cup of coffee and visit with other morning members, and I'm behind the front desk to check everybody who comes into the Y at that time. At that point, there was no indication that Bill wasn't feeling good. He said nothing to us, nothing was out of order, and the next thing I knew, he was going back to play racquetball. A few minutes later, Lorena, who is another staff person, was coming up the hall saying, we need to call 911, we need to call 911. So she immediately hops behind the desk to do so, and I'm going through the process to alert the rest of the staff that we have a code. At that point, I gathered up equipment, ran back down the hall to see what was needed. By the time I got there, Fred was taking the AED machine and preparing it for use, and Alycia was at Bill's side already doing CPR. I started to get the oxygen machine ready in case it was needed, and all of a sudden the AED machine said code or shock advised. At that point, we had to turn off the oxygen machine so that we didn't have any spark or issue with the oxygen flowing, clear the hallway so that the paramedics could come through when they arrived, and waited. After the shock was administered, Fred asked if there was anyone else who knew CPR. I did, of course, so I volunteered, and not because Alycia was doing a bad job, but because we did not want her to get fatigued and cause lack of care for Bill. At that point, we switched out. I started doing the CPR, and after a period of time, Fred changed us out again. At that point, the people from the paramedics came through, so I sat back, started filling out the administration reports, and the rest they say is history, and we are very, very grateful for a good outcome. I don't think it was until a week later when I heard from Laura, and she said, no, what you have to realize is that's not the norm. That 98% of the time, people who do code that completely don't come back. And I think that's when it hit me emotionally that this could have had a far sadder outcome.
I've been with AMR now for 7.5 years. I was an EMT long before I was a paramedic, and I've run many, many cardiac arrests. Only 4 of them in my 10 years of EMS have ever walked out, including Bill. So seeing something like this is very, very rare, and especially seeing good bystander CPR. I mean, the key to a good arrest save is high quality CPR, early defibrillation and high quality CPR, which everybody here provided, and they did it well, and all the credit goes straight to them.
Oh, you came down.
I come to the Y every day, and I
Yeah,
meet Mary
she's
and
already
Alyssa, and I normally bring them bananas because they like green bananas and ripe bananas, so I'll bring them bananas.
Right.
And they were very, very good friends before, and of course, obviously, they're better, or, you know, extremely nice, good friends now. They wouldn't have done it to anybody, I'm sure, but we were very close before, and we're closer now. Talked to my cardiologist, and I had planned on, I ride the bicycle at the Y every day now for 8 or 9 miles, and for about an hour and a half, and hopefully be back on the racquetball court within a month or less.